I'm going to go over some basics of the unit circle and kind of what you need to know before you start to use it, really, and what it is. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about angles. A standard position for an angle means that the middle of the angle is at the origin, and the positive x-axis is one of the rays, and then you've got this terminal ray, which is the ending ray, and it is what determines your angle. So for example, if I were to move it right here, it's about a 45-degree angle, okay? So you basically think of this as moving around in a circle, okay? It can go in through all 4 quadrants. So there are 360 degrees in a circle, okay? The first quadrant is your degrees of 0 through 90. And then your second quadrant is 90 to 180 degrees. And then your third quadrant is 180 through 270. And then the last one is 270 through 360. So you've got 90 degrees in each quadrant, okay? So when you talk about coterminal angles, it's basically just another name for an angle that has the same position, all right? You can travel this circle as many times as you want to. There is no ending to it. So each angle basically has an infinite number of names. So there's 2 ways that you can name an angle. One is positive and one is negative, okay? If we want a positive angle, we basically start at 0 and work our way up and around counterclockwise, okay? So the way I like to think of it is if I start here at the positive x, which is our initial position, okay, standard position for an angle. If I start here and I go up, that's always going to give me a positive angle. If I start here and go down, it's going to give me a negative angle, okay? So basically, if I have an angle right here, I can name it 2 different ways. I could call this a positive, going all the way around, that's 90 degrees, 180, 270, and let's give this another 30 degrees. So we're going to call this, and we're going to put a little arrow to say I went this direction, right? So this is a 300-degree angle. Okay, or I can start from 0 and go down. If I go down to here, if this is 300 degrees, then that means that I have another 60 degrees left, right, to get to 0. So this is a negative 60-degree angle because I went down 60 degrees. It's coterminal because the terminal side of the angle is in the same spot. I haven't moved it. So this angle right here could either be called a 300-degree angle, or it could be called a negative 60-degree angle. You could also go around more than once. So I could start here and I could go all the way around 360 degrees and then all the way around another 300 degrees and call this a 660-degree angle, because I'm going to add 360 to it, okay? So when Edgenuity talks about adding or subtracting 360 degrees, that's because of the circle. You can move around the circle as many times as you want. So if I want a bunch of different names for this angle, all I got to do is add 360 degrees, or I could subtract 360 degrees, and it's going to take me the other way, okay? So subtracting 360 or adding 360 still gives me the same angle. It's going to still be drawn right here, but I can call it different things, okay? Let me see. Okay, yeah, so that's about it, I think, for the angles, okay? So if they give you an angle measure, remember, standard position starts at the positive x. So this isn't really a 45-degree angle, but you know that it's 45 degrees right here. So you would do 180, since the line, remember, is 180 degrees. You would do 180 minus the 45, and it'll get you this angle right here, which is the standard position, okay? So it's got to start from the positive x-axis, that's standard position. So when you're finding the coterminal angles, what quadrant are they in? That's the most important thing, actually, to be able to move around the unit circle. So if you want a 28-degree angle, first of all, you know it's in quadrant 1 because it's between 0 and 90. And then to sketch this thing, I would literally just sketch a little angle right there in quadrant 1, and then you draw the arrow to indicate what direction you're going, and then you label it 28 degrees. And that's a sketch of an angle, okay? 325 degrees, you know, is in quadrant 4 because it goes past 270, right? So we would go here. My drawings are terrible, but this would be my 325-degree angle, okay, in quadrant 4. Boop. Okay, so that is standard position of angles and coterminal, and trying to figure out what quadrant they're in and how to draw them is the one of the pretty most important things. Like this negative 370-degree angle down here, last example, remember you start here, negative means I go down and around. So I'm still going to travel 370 degrees, I just started in the opposite direction. So now I've traveled 360, so I got to go another 10. So that negative 370-degree angle is in quadrant 4, okay? Because I had to start here and go down and around 370 degrees. So I went 360 and then 10 more puts me in this quadrant, okay? If I had gone positive 370, I would be up here in quadrant 1 at a 10-degree angle, okay? So it's important whether you go up or down, whether it's positive or negative.